I'm Jennifer Della Quadri, and this is Subtle Shifts, the podcast where you'll learn how to transform your life from the inside out, one small, meaningful shift at a time. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you a live session that I originally hosted in my private Facebook group, and it resonated so much with the women in that group that I knew I had to bring it here to the podcast. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about the 7 happiness blockers, those little things that can drain you of your joy and keep you from really enjoying your life. And I'm also going to be sharing with you practical strategies to overcome things like guilt, perfectionism, and overwhelm. I am also sharing a client story about how she broke through her happiness blockers and the ripple effect it had on her family. And in this live, I'm really breaking down how to really appreciate and enjoy your life more. Because one thing I know for sure is that when you run toward what you want instead of away from what you don't want, you're going to be more motivated and inspired along the way. And that's what this live was all about. And when I dive in, I get right into the 7 happiness blockers. And as you listen, I recommend that you think in your head, which one of these might apply to me? And also know that you can do something about it. And I really do lean in this live on why it's so important to look toward the light instead of away from or at the dark. Yes, you do need to address the dark. You need to look at the shadow side in order to clear it out. But there's something really profound about leaning into the light, the things that bring you joy. And if you don't know what they are, what a fun experience to be able to explore and find out. So without further ado, let me go ahead and dive into this live recording. Hey friends, welcome to a new week. This week, I'm going to be diving into how to lift your spirits, and I'm really enjoying this series. So if you are here, if you watch the live, if you're in the replay, just do a little comment, a heart, a like on the bottom so I know you're here. I love to be able to connect with you in my community. Sometimes I feel you there and I see you commenting, and it's just fuel for the fire of the mission that I am on to help you have a little more joy in your life. So in this live, I'm going to be talking about the 7 happiness blockers and how you can break them down. And I'm also going to be sharing with you a story about a client I worked with and how she busted down her happiness blockers, and it impacted not only her, but her teenage son. So I'll get into that at the end. But let me go ahead and dive in. So as women, there are some specific things that really do hold us back from finding joy in midlife. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about them in a moment. But I want you to think, as your happiness and your joy increases, it expands beyond just you. I like the saying, a rising tide lifts all ships. And when you think about yourself, especially a mom in the family, it's like your energy influences everyone in the family. So when you are feeling depleted and down and drained, that's going to radiate into every interaction you have with everyone in your family. When I was a teacher, I remember any day I felt off or tired or just not fully there, the energy in the entire classroom would be impacted. The kids would be grumpy. They'd be snapping at each other. Everybody would just be like, and I knew that it was because of me. I would know it. Sometimes I would feel really helpless to do anything about it, but it's the same in the classroom as it would be for you and your family. So think about your family and the people that you interact with daily as your classroom. You are the energy, and you influence everyone there. I know you want to feel joy in your life. I know you want to feel happiness, and I want that you want to really experience positive things in your life, but there are some things that get in the way. I like to think of them as like the garbage bags. We're just taking out the garbage. Whatever it is that's blocking your happiness, we can systematically remove it so that you can see that happiness and then impact positively the people around you. So let's dive into the 7. The first one is guilt. The number one thing that comes up for women when I'm talking about them having time to focus on themselves or them doing things that they really enjoy is that they feel guilty because they think that if I'm focusing on myself, then I am taking away from someone else. I'm not giving time to someone else that depends on me, whether it be your kids or your partner or your career or whatever it is you're involved in. If I'm focusing on me, I'm taking focus away from other people. And so that gives a really strong sense of guilt. And then as a result, you end up feeling drained and potentially resentful. So if you think about it that way, if you're feeling guilty for focusing on yourself, the net impact is that you're negatively impacting the other people around you. It's kind of this twisted thing. Like if I don't focus on myself, then I'm going to feel like crap. But if I do, I'm going to feel like crap. And that's because of the guilt that gets in the way. The second happiness blocker is that just a simple loss of identity. When we become moms, our identity is so wrapped around being a mother that we can lose sight of who we are, independent of being a mom. And I mean, give me a thumbs up, give me a like if you can relate to this, but there's a point when you've been a mom for so long and you've been focusing so much on parenting and taking care and nurturing and all of those responsibilities that when your kids get a little bit older and you have more time to focus on yourself, you're like, well, now what am I supposed to do? What do I do now? I don't even know what I like because it's been 10, 15 plus years and what I liked before is different. But I don't even know what it is. So it's like this uncertainty of, I don't even know what to do. And so because you don't know what to do, when you have those blocks of times, you fill it with things that are just time sucks. Things that don't really fulfill you, but it's better than just sitting there staring off into space in some ways. So things like eating, shopping, scrolling, give me a thumbs up if you can relate to any of this, impulse buying things, going and cleaning. That's a real big thing that I would do. I'd be like, well, I've got about 30 minutes here. What can I clean? I got to clean something, right? Yes. Some of those things can give you this temporary sense of satisfaction and feel good in the moment, but they're not necessarily like these long-term fill your cup things. They also come with a high burden of responsibility, especially cleaning. Like everything's on me. So I finally have a moment. I should clean the house or I should get these projects done. So it's just a simple loss of identity. I don't know what to do, so I'll just do the default things. Or I'll just do whatever is easy because I don't know what else there is for me. I don't even know what's fun. The next one is fear. Fear of what other people are going to think if you start doing something that's just for you, right? They're going to think you're being selfish, or they're going to think that you don't care about them, or you're not living up to your responsibilities. And fear, a level of that fear is also people pleasing. Think about it that way. Like if I don't do what this other person is expecting me to do, they might be upset with me and that's uncomfortable. And so I'm just going to, sacrifice myself because I don't feel comfortable having this person think that I'm selfish or think that I'm not prioritizing them over me. So there's a lot of fear of it. Also fear of like, what if I don't find these things fulfilling? What if it doesn't work, right? A lot of doubt comes with it. Another thing kind of along those same lines is that there are cultural and societal expectations of what it means to be a woman, specifically a mom, going back to that self-sacrificing. A good woman or a good mom always puts other people's needs first, always. And if you're not doing that, then you're a failure, or again, you're selfish, or you are making a mistake, or you're not living up to your responsibility, which doesn't feel good. So there can also be some societal expectations and cultural expectations and a paradigm that you've been believing in for so long, to the extent that you're no longer able to enjoy your life to the fullest extent because you're so concerned with how other people will perceive you. Another one is that it's just too overwhelming. Give me a thumbs up if you're like, I don't even have time to focus on myself. My life is so busy. I've got so much going on. How could I even give myself 30 minutes to figure out what I like? Right? That comes up a lot with my clients as well. When I ask them, well, what's fun for you? It's like I'm speaking a foreign language. They don't even know where to start. They don't even remember what fun is. And they think about what other people do that they're like, well, gosh, they seem to be having fun doing that. And that doesn't appeal to them. So they'll see friends going out and going to happy hour and drinking or going to parties. And they're like, that doesn't really appeal to me. I guess I just don't know how to have fun. But that's not true. They just haven't really had the time to focus on what brings them joy or that sense of fun. And so it's more just like, I don't even have time to focus on it. So just too overwhelmed with life. And that also brings it back to, if you fill your cup, if you feel light in your spirit, that overwhelm is not like a cloud hanging over you anymore. So even if you feel like, gosh, I don't even have 10 minutes to myself, think about the impact it has on your life to really be living a life where you don't have 10 minutes for yourself. And if you were to restructure and actually do things that when you walk away, you're like, gosh, that was amazing. Or even just at the end of the day, that was an amazing day. Or I had so much fun doing that. The spirit lift that you get, again, lifts all ships. And it impacts every area of your life. And so it's a matter of prioritizing. The next one is habit. Like, I've just been living this way for so long. I've been putting other people first for so long. I just don't know any other way. Like, this is just my natural inclination. I put other people's needs first. I don't know how to do anything different. And, that's just a habit. It's like, it's just the way you've been for so long. You don't really think about it. Another really big one, and this is the seventh one, the final one, is perfectionism. So that feeling like I need to earn the ability to have fun. Right? Like if I work real hard or I check all of these boxes, okay, then I can do something that feels good to me or prioritize myself or do something just for me. I am a big proponent of this. Like I am a huge perfectionist, and I've been working on it for a really long time, but I do still have that thought in my head, like, okay, well, I have to do all of the things to earn my downtime. And if I don't, then I'll feel guilty, going back to the guilt, while I'm having this downtime. And therefore, it's not necessarily going to make me feel better. So perfectionism, and also that fun needs to look a certain way. Like, it has to look and feel a certain way. It has to be perfect, or else it's not going to be worth it. So you just put it off and you're like, well, I don't know. I just delay that. Like literally delaying your enjoyment of life. Who wants to do that? So in the chat, comment, which of these do you feel like most resonates with you? Do you feel like it's the guilt, loss of identity, fear, expectations by society or cultures, overwhelm, habit, or perfectionism? And while you do that, fill it in. I'm going to tell you about my client story. So I started working with my client. She hired me because she really wanted to be able to support her son, who was struggling with his mental health, and he had been for a while. And she just felt really helpless to do anything about it. She didn't know how to support him, and she was really concerned about him. So when we started working together, it was clear that her energy was highly catabolic, really heavy, just really down. It was like there was a dark cloud on her. His mental health challenges were entwined now with her, and she was feeling the heaviness of it all. And so what we started working on together was working on breaking down these happiness blockers for her, it was a big sense of guilt that she was having, as if I focus on something for myself, I'm not there for my son. And what kind of mother would I be if I was doing that? So we addressed that sense of guilt. And instead of just, hey, give yourself 30 minutes to get a bubble bath, right? Or go get your toes done. You know, those kinds of things. No. Instead, what we did was we identified what it is that lights her up. And we worked together to shift her focus from that heavy, draining energy, the thoughts that were really draining her, to that uplifted feeling that she would get when she was focusing on this other thing that she identified brings her joy. She started calling in more of that light, more of that thing that she was loving. And the more she did that, the more uplifted she felt, the more anabolic energy she was feeling. She felt more light, her spirit was lifted. And then when she would interact with her son, he would reciprocate. It was like their energetic exchange impacted how he felt too. He could feel her spirit lifting, and it lifted his, to the extent where they went to lunch one day and he was like, Mom, what's going on with you? Like, you've seen so much happier, seemed so much lighter, and I can feel that. Like, he was able to actually articulate to her how it was impacting him. And instead of going in and like trying to micromanage him and try to affect his mental well-being, she worked on hers. She worked on bringing more light and joy into her life. And then, of course, it impacted him. He started doing things, going out more, finding friends, being more social. And this was all because she started focusing on herself instead of focusing on the thing that was draining her, and that was her concern and worry for him. So really the whole point of it is that she started feeling more positive in her life. She started focusing on the joy and the fulfillment that she wanted in her life. And that in turn helped her son. A rising tide lifts all ships. And really the truth is that this didn't really take a lot of time. This wasn't like hours and hours and hours of conversations. This was just her willingness to try something different. Her willingness to look toward the light in her life versus look into the fears and the darkness. And it doesn't even take a lot of inner work, like that shadow work. Yes, shadow work can be really effective, but it was more, I like to think of it as you're doing it to set an intention of where you want to shift your focus. It's just a subtle shift. Just like everything that I comment on and I share with you, it's one little thing that you can do that can have huge results. And I like to think of it, instead of shadow work, I like to think of it as sunshine work. Figuring out what lights you up and bringing more of that into your life. And it's not just for you, but for everyone around you, for everyone that you love the most in your life. And that's what this Summer of You program is all about. It's like focusing on the sunshine, bringing more light into your life, because you deserve it, and so do all the people that you interact with. And that's what I'm going to help you find. It's just that little light, that little joy in the Summer of You program. We're going to work together to just shift your focus and help you really start to enjoy your life so you can feel more uplifted and you can be that rising tide. And the spaces are already filling up in this program. So if you are wanting to be part of it, just comment below summer or send me a message and we'll get the conversation started and we can get you going on it. Because you deserve to have the best summer ever that will transition into a new normal for you. A new normal of truly enjoying your life and having a little fun, bringing the light back. So I'd love to hear from you. Comment below what resonated with you. What would you like to bring more of into your life? What do you feel like might be holding you back there? Let's get this conversation going, or just comment summer and we'll get it started with you. All right, well, thanks for tuning into this live, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining me. If you're ready to take the next step in transforming your life, be sure to subscribe so you'll never miss an episode. And if something resonated with you today, I'd love to hear about it. Share your thoughts, tag me on social media, or leave a review to help others find the podcast. Remember, the smallest shifts can create the biggest transformations. I look forward to hearing from you.